Howdy, hey, happy Tuesday, family. Listen, I'm running a little late today, but part of that, I am on vacation this week as far as tax preparation is concerned. So I am a little behind. I apologize. As everything is loading up, I'm going to check in with LinkedIn to make sure that I'm streaming over there. And I will also check in on Facebook to make sure I'm live over there. But as you're hopping on, because I can see, I think I got 4 people right now on YouTube. You guys drop down the comments, say what's up. If you are on LinkedIn right now, I want you to drop in as well. Say what's up. Thank you. Thank you, Jeremy's on LinkedIn. Always representing on LinkedIn. I don't see myself on Facebook yet. They said they haven't been getting notifications when I go live over there, so I'm just trying to make sure that I am actually showing up. Okay. Awesome. So I'm live there. LinkedIn will let me know here in a bit. But good morning to you all. Let me see. Here we have, I don't want to butcher this. I'll say Nicole Sharma. Hi, Timalyn. Just for anybody else that would ask, Nicole says, can you be my girlfriend? I cannot. I'm happily married to Joseph Bowens, so no boyfriends for me. Good morning, Jeremy. Thanks for joining. Let me see. The numbers are going up on YouTube. So you guys make sure you drop in and say what's up, all right? So I am good on LinkedIn, which Jeremy let me know when he said good morning. I'm just going to pull the stream up over here just in case I can't see everybody's comments, so that way I can still interact with them, okay? So CFO Aesthetic, thank you for coming back again. I'm on live on my monitor, so I won't be able to comment much. Hey, I understand. I appreciate you all being here. I'm not going to hold this up too much because I know the majority of you all are still, in the middle of tax season. I'm just done, so I have the time to talk, but you guys may not. I know you're working, so let's get right to this. If you're new to me, new to this channel, my name is Timalyn Bowens, and I am America's favorite EA. As an enrolled agent, I'm licensed through the Internal Revenue Service to represent taxpayers in all 50 states. As a matter of fact, I can represent taxpayers all over the world if they're facing a U.S. tax problem. All right. So these live streams on Tuesdays are to help my fellow tax professionals who have aspirations to be an enrolled agent, or you're currently an enrolled agent, but you feel kind of stuck. So right now, with tax season almost coming to an end, a lot of tax professionals are reaching out to me and they're like, hey, I'm tired of doing taxes. I feel unappreciated. And they're looking for something new just because of the hustle and bustle of tax preparation, right? But if you're not a good test taker, or maybe you've heard things that say, hey, you can do representation work without actually being an EA, you may have the question, is being an enrolled agent actually worth it? So that's what I want to address today. And this is going to be a candid conversation. So I know CFO Aesthetic, you said that you are not going to be able to comment much. But for the rest of you, by all means, please, I'd love your feedback. And I want to know what you think, right? So what actually inspired this conversation? I get the question, and the people that ask me, I'm almost like, well, what do you mean? Is it being an enrolled agent worth it? Because for me, if you follow me, I always champion the EA designation, right? But I had to sit with myself and have an honest conversation with myself that the EA designation is amazing. It's opened up many doors and opportunities for myself that align with my personal goals, filling the tax literacy gaps, stepping in taxpayers' shoes to represent them before the IRS. But that's my personal goal. That may not be your goal. So if your goal isn't to actually, represent taxpayers before the IRS, maybe you only want to do the paperwork, but you don't want to be the person to get on the phone. You don't want to be the person to completely step into their shoes and do it for them. You rather it be a, um, a collaborative thing where you're side by side versus you being in charge. Maybe the EA designation isn't right for you. Maybe you were fine with preparing returns, but representation just, you know, is not appealing to you. Maybe you would do better with the CPA license because you want to do more traditional accounting functions, such as you want to go in and be able to do internal audits of companies. You want to be able to sign off on financial statements. If that's the situation or circumstance, then, the enrolled agent designation may not be good for you. However, I'm going to share some of the benefits from my point of view, but also look at this email that I received last week, and that's what made the question come top of mind for me. And as I was going back through my inbox and things, I saw that quite a few of you have actually reached out and asked me the same thing. And that's why I want to have this conversation. So let me get this email up. Jeremy, how are you doing today? I appreciate you being, I think you have been on with me every Thursday, or not Thursday, every Tuesday since I came back at the beginning of March. And I appreciate you being here. All right, I found the email and I'm going to look at some of the things that they said. All right, now I'll give credit honor where credit honor due. This was an email that was from Glime. And if you're not familiar with them, they have a CPA study course, they have an enrolled agent study course. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to have somebody from Glime before this month is over, and we are going to do an interview, right? Because people ask me often, like, what should I use to study for the exam? And I've already studied, taken it, passed on the first try. Like, what works for me may not work for you. So, taking that into consideration, you guys know, I think back in January, I had Brian Hawk from Hawk International, and he's actually going to be coming back. But then this month, I have somebody from Glime. So if you have any questions at all about their review system, be sure to send those in to me so we make sure we get those questions asked, because there will also be an article and a video. All right. So if you're on my email list, you will be getting a heads up about the video, and you'll get the article as soon as it comes out. So let me see. They sent out an email that says, is becoming an EA really worth it? So they had reasons on why you should become an EA before next tax season, which I agreed with those. But some of the benefits that they listed were about the salary, representation, which you guys know I harp on all the time, the representation piece, right? And they talked about your ability to start your own business and work on your own time. So before I get right into it, let me check out these comments. Miss Dorothy, how's it going down in Memphis? My vacation is going well. I did, so you all know I love what I do. I did have to actually step in and work with a client on yesterday and reach out to the IRS and get some payment information to them, because somebody had received an intent to levy. And there are certain things I'm still on standby for, but not dealing with any tax preparation stuff. But it's been nice. So my phone was on Do Not Disturb all day yesterday. I went to sleep without my phone last night and the night before. I've had amazing sleep. I feel pretty good. Thank you for asking. So, oh, I'm sorry. Jeremy said he is great. Cool beans, cool beans. CFO Aesthetic says, I absolutely want to do representation and resolution work. I've been on the other side and would be honored to use my testimony as my ministry. Hey, listen, you can always connect better with people when you've been through what they're going through and now you have the solution to help, right? But I am forever grateful that owing the IRS $100,000 not being able to pay is not part of my testimony. But I think CFO Aesthetic, you've tapped into something very powerful because you having been on the other side and being a testimony to, hey, arrangements can actually be made with the IRS, and this is how I did it, and this is how I'm going to help you to do it. That's very, very, very powerful. And just by the way, so the resolution work is kind of when you think of it as tax preparation, right? You fill out the paperwork for them, it gets sent in. Whereas representation work is you were filling out the paperwork, but you were actually delivering it to the IRS on their behalf and handling all correspondence and phone calls and arrangements as well. So if you're doing representation, like once you have your EA license, or I don't know, and I know you said you can't type a lot today, but let me know. I can't remember if you are credentialed or not because for me, unless I'm doing pro bono stuff, I don't typically do what we say resolution. Like I know, yes, people say it's all the same thing, but I keep my name off of stuff. I'll dig into that deeper so I don't get off track. But I think that's very noble and wishing you all the best on that. So Jeremy says, I am currently doing Hawk International and I love it. Hey, I'm about to release a review on their EA review system. I love it too. Now, of course, I'm probably biased because I used Passkey when I was studying for the exams, and I love Christy and being back in an EA review course and hearing Christy's lectures and like I love. And I said this before I even had the opportunity to meet her um, later on, years later. Like I loved how during her examples, you could tell they were real life examples that she encountered, but then her ability to laugh at her own tax jokes always resonated with me. It's probably part of why when I'm doing classes and stuff, if I mess up, say a joke, I'm going to laugh because I think it's funny and I'm going to keep on rolling. But I am glad that you are enjoying Hawk, Jeremy, and wishing you all the best with your next exam. So going back to this email, in LinkedIn, I see I got some numbers over here. So my folks on LinkedIn, drop in the comments and say hello, say what's up, because this is a conversation we're having today. All right. So the first reason they give is because of salary. An EA salary is up to 55% than the average tax preparer. So I do agree with this. The credential signals your expertise. You can attract more clients, offer more services, and charge more for your elevated skill set. So you have to take into consideration that not always in this economy, but typically when you have more education, you can demand more in pay. That's kind of what's going on with the EA credentials. So if you have somebody who only has a P10 or has only completed the annual filing season program, because the IRS holds the EA credential up to a higher esteem, as an enrolled agent, you can charge a higher price because you are supposed to be more well versed in taxes, tax law, whether that be on the preparation side or you are doing representation. So it is indeed true that the salary is increased for enrolled agents. Because if we're looking at somebody that's an EA and they are working, they're working at a franchise, let's say H&R Block, for example, right? They're going to be able to get paid more than the person who only has a P10 because as an EA, they can handle more levels of responsibility due to their expertise. So if somebody were to come in with a notice, yes, the person with the P10 can assist to a certain point, but the EA should be able to handle a higher level of complication with that notice or if the IRS intends to levy or anything. Also, this is not always true. EAs are not always going to be in their first year. So just having a little bit more experience under their belt, typically if we're looking in the franchise, those EAs are going to have supervisor positions over the people that just have their P10. Now, something else that they mentioned in this email, and I'm going to come back to representation, but something else that they mentioned in this email, my bad, you guys, I closed it. is you can start your own business and work on your own time. So you can do that as a P10 holder as well. But again, with the EA credential, when we're looking at marketing, right, and what your desire is. So if you were doing tax preparation, again, being an EA, you have the National Association of Enrolled Agents backing you, telling you are America's tax experts. It is the highest credential that the IRS awards, but you would have to know how to market yourself for tax preparation as a differentiator, because a lot of people don't know what an enrolled agent is. But unless you are going to specialize in representation work, I personally would not say the EA designation puts you in a better place to own and run your own firm, right? Because even if you went to college, you graduated from a business school, which I did, so I can speak on this, right? One of the best business schools in this region, okay? I graduated with a degree. However, what I learned in school and what I've learned along the road of becoming an entrepreneur is apples and oranges. It's one of those things where you have to actually get in there and do the work. You don't have to go to college to own a business. You don't have to be an EA to own a business. But as I mentioned before, if your business is going to focus on representation work, then absolutely being the EA, somebody that can actually handle the representation, is going to put you in a better position to actually market representation work for your business. Does that make sense? Hope so. So let me see. CFO Aesthetics says, LOL, yes, please do a deeper dive. I'm studying for the May cycle and planning to get credentialed by this fall. Yes, 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 yes. So again, from what they're saying, you're in a better position to demand a higher salary. Absolutely. But let's talk about salary too. All right. Because a lot of you on here, you want to become an EA, but you don't want to work for somebody. You want to start your own firm, right? You can demand higher prices, but something that the gurus don't tell you when they talk about how much money you've made and all that, when people talk about making their first 6 figures, they're talking about gross. All right. Anybody that's talking about, I can teach you how to make XYZ amount of money, you need to ask them how they are measuring that. I went to a coach and she would say, okay, I made XYZ. But then when you would get down into actual details, she was saying that she booked a certain amount and she banked a certain amount. I don't care about what you booked. I care about what actually has cleared your bank account, right? How much did you actually bank? So you have to be careful with that lingo. Now, as an enrolled agent, is it numbers wise easier to hit $100,000 versus doing tax preparation? Absolutely. If we look at the data, the average representation case is going to be $5,000. Taking that into consideration, right? That means you should be able to hit $100,000 serving 20 people. Now, if you are currently doing taxes, I can pretty much guarantee you that you're doing more than 20 tax returns a season. And with that being said, those 20 tax returns within the season, some of you all are even doing 20 tax returns a week, right? Some of you guys are doing way more than that. So when we look at it from a number standpoint, absolutely, it's going to be easier for you to hit $100,000 more. However, because we're looking at representation work, that is harder to market than tax preparation is, because again, everybody needs their taxes done, right? So you can go and directly reach out to people to get tax preparation work, whereas with tax representation, you have to build brand and authority so that when you put out content about representation or tax problems, people come to you as the expert. Also, with that though, that means marketing could potentially cost you more. Now, it does not have to. I do have an article in my paid subscription that walks you through how to get clients, even if you don't have a big social media following. And I don't think this is in the title. You don't actually have to spend any money. So I know for a lot of you, for lack of a better term, like you're getting it out of the mud, right? You may not have a budget for marketing. So it will cost you your time as an investment, but there are 5 ways that I go through in this article. And at the end, if you are a paid subscriber to my article subscription, you guys can attest to this. At the end, there is a section where it says, now it's your turn. So not only am I going to give you the 5 things you should do, I'm going to give you the steps that you should break them down into to make sure that you have success with them to ensure that you have a tax representation client by the end of the month. Okay? So 30-day stretch. With that, again, with representation work, making that first 100,000, that is most definitely an amazing goal. And actually, you know what? Because we're doing this series, I'm not going to do it today. Would you guys like for me to do a video about how I made my first 100,000, or would you just like me to do a general video like how to make $100,000 as an enrolled agent? If that's something you'd be interested in, let me know. Here on LinkedIn, I see I got 9 of you all. If you guys would be interested in a video about how I made my first $100,000 as an enrolled agent, how long it took me, let me know down in the comments, as well as you all on YouTube. So pocketing profits, how to save on taxes, said I just signed up for Passkey plus Hawk. Did they join forces? Can't wait to be an EA. So yes, actually they did. So now Passkey is licensed by Hawk. I think I said that the right way. So Passkey is within the Hawk system. So you still have Christy teaching all of the curriculum and everything. And like I said, I'm probably biased because I use Christy, I use Passkey to study. So I love Hawk. I love the format. Like I said, Brian is going to be coming back. I also am in the process of reviewing the course. So I will be doing a video on what I think about it, as well as writing an article as well. Looks like I'm in the right spots because so many of you guys are enjoying Hawk International as well. So Jeremy said yes. Karina said both. Hey Karina, how are you? Pocketing Pocket says yes. CFO Aesthetics says interested. Well, look, you guys got it. This is what I think I'm going to do, because some people, I've shared this before in the video, the enrolled agent career path. Everybody's path to being an enrolled agent isn't going to be the same. Everybody's path to making their first $100,000 as an enrolled agent is not going to be the same. So I will still do a video on how to make your first $100,000 as an enrolled agent, but then I'll do one on how I made my first 100,000, because I was able to make my first $100,000 as an enrolled agent within the first 12 months of me doing it full time. Because if you're not familiar with my story, my business partner is gone on spring break. That's part of why I'm on vacation now. But when I first became an enrolled agent, she was 3, I believe. Is my math right? She was 4. And with that, I had been a hybrid stay-at-home mom. And I said, before she goes to kindergarten, I want to enjoy this time with her. And I'm not going to do this full time. I'm only going to do a certain amount of work. But I made a promise to myself that when she went into kindergarten in August of the year that she went, I was going to go full throttle, right? And it took me less than 12 months to make my first 100K. But like I said, I will save that for the other video and break it down so you guys know what types of services I offered, how many clients I had, all of that information as well. And then again, I'll do a general video because everybody's story is not going to be like mine. If you're not getting the same type of clients that I was getting, I don't want you to be discouraged, because with getting $100,000 as an enrolled agent, there's more than one way to skin the cat, right? CFO Aesthetics says, wishing you the best. Pocketing profits. Yes, we are all rooting for your success, for you to be an EA. Now, let me go back to the email. So we have a higher salary, and like I said, if you are a business owner, you can demand higher payment for the services you're offering. We know that you can offer additional services. So for them, the second reason they said that you should become an enrolled agent before next tax season is because representation rights are becoming more important. And I could not agree with that more, right? So for Pocketing Profits, for Jeremy, for Karina, for those of you on here that are studying for the exam, you could not have chosen a better time because we had so much of a dead period with the pandemic and the IRS being backed up and they didn't do enforcement activity. And now, with them waking up, like we saw in November, they started sending out the CP 504s, which are the notices of intent to levy. Taxpayers are out here looking for help, right? And last week on my private podcast, I talked about actually taking action, right? I told them, I was like, I know somebody, a coach, and she says, what is it? I believe in you. I believe in your dreams, but most of all, I believe in your action. And some of you guys are saying that you want to be an enrolled agent. However, your action is not matching up with that because we have millions of people receiving notices from the IRS right now who are doing Google searches about how to actually handle that. And they have a decision to make, right? Their decision is whether they're going to handle this by themselves or whether they're going to team up with a professional. And they're searching for professionals, but they can't find you, right? I love getting leads from YouTube. I love getting leads from articles, LinkedIn. However, guys, I'm one person. I just told you millions of people got notices. They need qualified enrolled agents like you to be able to help them with their problem. So you have to put yourself out there, okay? Because they need representation. Speaking with the IRS or the IRS levying your account is the second biggest fear in the US, and it's only after public speaking. People are terrified of speaking to the IRS. They would love for you, as a tax professional and enrolled agent, to guide them along handling this issue with the IRS. They would love it. They would be ecstatic to sign a 2848 and to pay you to set up a payment arrangement for them so that they don't have to worry about getting levied. And a lot of people are scared of going to jail. That's not, if it's not criminal, they're not going to jail. But the point is, I 100% agree with Glenn. Tax representation is becoming more and more important, but we don't have confident tax professionals, enrolled agents, CPAs, and tax attorneys that will stand up. Now, we have people who are licensed and unlicensed alike that are going out there and they're getting people's stuff and they're getting them messed up, right? And listen, when you first start, you're not going to get everything right. I highly, highly, highly recommend that people do actually get a mentor. They get an accountability group, people that aren't in the same position as you, so that you actually have somebody to get case support from, that you have somebody to say, hey, can you look at my marketing plan to make sure this is okay? That you have somebody that's going to get on your back when they tell you, like, hey, you need to be posting content, you need to be reaching out to people, you need to connect with potential referral partners. You need that person that's going to get on your back, right? You need a mix though, so you have that person that's above you like a mentor, but then you have a community of people that are in the same spot pushing towards the same goals. Okay? Now, with that being said, end of the day, do I believe that being an enrolled agent is worth it? If you have the desire to help people with their tax issues by stepping completely into their shoes, 100%, the EA designation is worth it. What are you waiting for? Now, if you are fine just preparing taxes every tax season, or you are doing bookkeeping, and that's not a slight because representation is not for everybody. I have told you guys, I get clients from CPAs. They don't want to talk to the IRS. They want to do what they do and be good at that. That's great. majority of the time, I don't want to prepare taxes. I rather do representation work. Like, there's something for everyone in the tax world. And if you don't want to do representation, there's no shame in saying that. But if you don't want to do representation, there are other licenses and credentials that you could seek and get. The EA license just may not be worth it for you. Now, with that being said, before I leave, Pocketing Profit said, thank you, CFO Aesthetic. Second fear, wow, I so believe that. Absolutely. I used to not believe that until working with, like, my biggest referral source is other tax professionals. CPAs, uncredentialed, even other EAs, because they are scared to death to talk to the IRS. And for me, I'm like, why did you become an EA if you don't want to do representation work? So again, if you have no desire to do that type of work, I think that, like I said, it opens up the door and opportunities for you. If you understand prior representation, most definitely that helps you reverse engineer stuff for planning, because you'll see like the pitfalls that people run into, that cause them to owe the IRS. That sets you up great for that. But yeah, if you don't have the initial desire to do that, I personally don't think that the EA designation is worth it. Pocketing Profit says, do you have a community we can join? I'm looking for that support in community. As a matter of fact, I do. So glad you asked. No, but in all seriousness, so I do have the Tax Pro Representation Journey, which is an enrolled agent mentoring group. Now, we've been a little slow for tax season, but like I told you all, I know I'm done, right? I'm going to meet with somebody on the ninth, a few people, then I'm going back out of the office until the 22nd. So with that being said, if you are serious about getting representation clients, right now tax season is the best time to actually market for that, which is what I'm talking about in the group right now. So with it, there are, I can say, two levels, if you will. So you have the main level where you have a private podcast every week, and I actually have to do this week. Sorry for people that are on here. You do have a corresponding article, which right now people have told me like, hey, it's tax season. I don't really have time to dig into it that much. That's cool. But you also have a community that you can post in, as well as direct access to me in the chat through that, because as I am focusing on growing this and helping people, I am going to put some more restrictions on LinkedIn. So right now, if you DM me on Facebook, you'll probably never hear from me on my personal Facebook, right? My page says no DMs. On LinkedIn, I still respond because I'm on there a bit more. My business partner doesn't use that, so I usually see those DMs. However, when it comes to case support and help, I will only be offering that within my paid community from now on, unless people want to book a one-on-one. So, Pocketing Profits, I am going to put the link in here. Sorry I didn't do this earlier. So, that just went to Facebook and also went to YouTube. So, look, I'll share this with you, Pocketing Profits. Karina O'Connor says, yes, I recommend the group. Like I said, I'm probably biased, but I recommend the group as well. Now, this is something that Karina doesn't even know. I'm working on something that is a little bit different. So I have people that reach out, like I said, often via DMs and everything, and they may not actually be ready to be in that paid group with me, or there is a tier under that where I have just the article subscription, because in the articles, like I said, the paid articles, there is a section at the end. Now it's your turn, so I give you steps, homework to actually implement, and you still have access to me in those comments. However, I get a lot of questions from people after they have passed the exam or they're studying for the exam about how to start your own EA firm. So what I've done, and right now it's a free community group. It's not on Facebook. It's not on LinkedIn. You have to go to americasfavoriteea.com and you have to subscribe and join the page before you can access the group as a member. So if you go to americasfavoriteea.com, I believe in the top right, you can sign up, be a part of the email list. And we're actually working on that on the back end. So it will prompt you to ask you if you want to join the group, how to start your own EA firm. Or if you go to americasfavoriteea.com, top right corner, hit the hamburger. You guys know the 3 lines there. When you click on that and go down to groups, you will see the group how to start your own EA firm. I believe I'm done for now. And I want to say this too. So Profit and Profits, you set me right up to talk about my community. In all fairness. So my community is a monthly subscription because if you're not getting what you need, I don't want you to be there, right? Or if you're causing havoc in my group, I don't want you to be there. I also know that everybody's at a different space financially. So if you go in there and you listen to all the podcast episodes and 1 month you read all the articles, implement the stuff, best wishes to you, you can cancel after that month. Now, on the flip side, if you're wreaking havoc in my group, I'm going to cancel it for you. That may not be your style, how you flow. I may not be your cup of tea. Even if you don't go with me, you need to find a mentor and get the help that you need to grow your EA business and get out here and represent these clients. Because like I said, representation is becoming so much more important. Like I said, like Glime said, and we need qualified, confident, enrolled agents to be able to help these taxpayers with their issues. All right. So if you all do not have any more questions, then I'm going to hop off of here. Wishing you all the best. I know you have about 13 days left until the end of tax season. You guys hang in there. If you have any questions at all about the mentorship program and you're on LinkedIn, you can DM me on LinkedIn, or you can go to americasfavoriteea.com and hit contact, and me and my team will get back to you that way. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.